water over there for sure.
Guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube sensation. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by a very special guest, Phoenix Animation. How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Good to have you on the channel. This is your time.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be here.
Most definitely. Since you're new, let's get to know you a little better. Yeah, a little bit better. I'd love to get a better idea of what event. All right, let's start over. What is your quote unquote origin story? How were you raised in public? Pop culture. Were you always into comics? Did you get into toys, movies? What eventually took you down the path that led you to creating your own crowdfunded books?
All right. Well, I guess my first introduction to comics was when I was 8 years old. My mom took me to like a cards and collectible shop, and it was because my dad used to collect baseball cards. And so she was taking them over just to see if they're worth anything. And, we're there, and I see out of the corner of my eye this book, and it's black and it has silver, and I go and I check it out, and there's this silver guy, and he's surfing in space. I'm like, and it's the Fantastic Four Silver Surfer episode.
Yeah.
And I've always been into surfing and really been into space. So I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, wait, this is a thing? Nobody told me I could sign up for this. Like, how do I do this? Let's go. And that was kind of my descent into comics originally. And I started getting into Spider-Man. I became a big Carnage and Venom fan, and started getting into a little bit of the Avengers. I was more of a Thor fan. And so that started my descent into comics for a while. And I kind of got away with from it because I started getting more into anime and stuff. I started discovering different animes and mangas like, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, stuff like that from back in the day. And so it took me down that path for a long time. And so I guess what got me into wanting to create my own. So I'm a FedEx driver by trade. And for a long time, I'd be, delivering packages and no radio in the truck, no nothing. And your mind just gets to wandering. And so all of a sudden, this idea popped into my head. And I was like, oh, it seems really cool. And I started working on it more and more. And I started developing stuff in my head. And it got to the point that I actually tried to pitch my idea to Funimation years ago. And I was told that they are actually, just a dubbing studio, not an animation company. So kind of tough to hear the rejection. But then I was like, oh, that makes sense. And so I kind of just put that on the back burner for a while. For about 3 years, I hadn't really done anything with the idea. And the anime industry kind of went through a situation with a voice actor named Vic Mignogna.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that whole situation. Well, I kind of started hearing about it, and there was a lot of people that were saying, oh, we need another option. We need something different. Something, for people that weren't into Funimation anymore.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, I've had these ideas in the back of my mind for a while, maybe I could figure something out with that. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to make an animation studio. So started, putting together all the legal stuff, taxpayer stuff. And then I was like, all right, cool, we're going to do this. And then I started getting into how the animation process is done and discovering that, a 30-minute episode to produce costs roughly 30 grand. And I was like,
No.
oh, well, I'm a FedEx driver. This is going to be easy, right? Just walk in the park. I've got money flying out of my pockets all day. So I was like, man, I kind of spent 2 weeks trying to figure out how, why, can I do this? And the idea came in to start creating the mangas first and start getting a customer base and start going through things that way.
How did you get the background in animation?
I'm sorry, what was it?
How did you get the background in animation?
Well, I'm actually not an animator. I was planning on hiring animators, so I'm working on the books right now and the mangas to generate a customer base and create a want for it, so then I can go into hiring animators and stuff like that and working with some people that are not in the industry but want to be and figuring things out that way.
Oh, okay. So you are is manga basically the style you want to focus on?
Well, with Galden, I'm actually doing that more in the traditional American style. But with the Reclaiming Zendara, I'm actually doing that in a manga format. So it's going to read right to left and back to front. So I'm kind of, doing both ways and seeing, I like both styles and stuff. So I'll be ambidextrous a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like both styles. As one might expect, I am more used to the Western style, but manga is kind of a different creature.
Yeah.
I think it's really fascinating, and it's like it feels like longer stories, maybe because the pages are smaller and because the books are bigger and thicker, so they look more like a novel.
Right.
But they can be really entertaining.
Well, with both Galden and Reclaiming Zendara, the storylines are going to be about 6-7 books long, and they're all going to be over 100 pages because the storylines for both are just massive. And so there's a lot of information and a lot of different scenes, and I'll be doing a lot of different dynamic panels and stuff to really show the scene off in a unique way.
Are you like the jack of all trades? On these books, are you basically doing everything from writing the story to pencils, inks, colors, lettering?
So I've actually, with Galden, I've hired an artist to do the work on that because he was really, really good with the black and white and the gray scales and stuff. And like, honestly, with that book, that was the style I was looking for. And this guy's just amazingly talented.
Nice.
And as far as the color stuff, I'm good with colors. If you notice the little metal art prints back here behind me, these are all stuff that I did. I know it's kind of hard to see.
Including the wanted posters and the Carnage?
Yep, the wanted posters. This one is a 2-piece Carnage and Venom with Spider-Man.
Nice.
And I've been selling metal art at conventions since 2015.
Wow. So do you yourself transfer the images onto metal, or do you draw them directly on the metal?
No, so I draw them digitally with the drawing tablet, and then print with the sublimation ink and transfer paper, heat press it at 400 degrees to get the transfer from the paper to the metal.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks. Yeah, I do it all in house. In fact, I just posted up something on Twitter, like around like 6:30 or so, because I thought about it. I was like, why am I not offering this to some of our fellow ComicsGate people? Because I do these large metal art panels, but then I also do bookmarks and bottle openers, like double-sided bottle openers. So it's
Oh,
like that would be a really cool thing for some of our ComicsGate guys to do as like a as a perk if they get, you know, a stretch goal type of thing. Everybody gets a customized bottle opener with their characters on it.
that would be cool. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Especially since a lot of people are always talking about booze.
Right. And I mean, well, with this, especially with ComicsGate, most of the general ComicsGate backer is an adult. So, you know, and most I found to be down with drinking beer. So,
and soda.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Oh yeah, you can get the pop ones.
That's a really good idea. What is the bigger piece above you that's in for?
That actually is not my girlfriend ordered this piece online. It's this angel, and it's got like a fireside, and sorry, I'm doing a really bad job at showing this thing off.
And then an ice side, or
yep, a fireside, and then a watercolor ice side. Actually, it'd be a really cool piece.
Yeah. Is it based off a particular manga or anime?
No. This is just something that she found online. It was just a unique art piece that she found, and she, you know, bought it and you know, got it framed up and put it up on the walls.
Nice.
But it actually looks really, really cool, and I like having it as a background.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if you're familiar with Red Valkyrie.
Yep, I am.
Yeah. Their, you know how their logo has it's got two. It's got a blue and a red.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that kind of threw me back to that. It's kind of reminiscent of that. So I was wondering.
That's true. I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. But yeah, it does give you that Valkyrie feel.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to tell her about that once I get done with the stream.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I'm sure they'd be interested in working with you too.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, I'm totally open to working with people.
So, since you do this in house, do you? I guess you buy the metal sheets.
Yep, I buy metal blanks, and I have to use a specific type of metal so that it transfers, and then do everything in house at home.
Do you have to cut them to size, or are they already in the size you want them in?
No, I cut them here at home as well.
Damn.
Yeah, I got a full setup. Yep, I cut it. I end up cutting the corners on the metal too, so that it's not like a sharp point at the end, and make it more rounded and stuff like that. So yeah, I do all that in house.
Do you have to use like a metal sander or something to smooth the edges?
No. I do that after I use a device that literally just punches the corner out, and then I'll use like a little sandpaper on the edges just to make sure it's really fine.
Oh, nice. And so when it comes to this metal, what is it called? Metal art or metal plate art, or?
I just call it metal art. I don't really. It's sublimation art, because we sublimated onto the metal.
And sublimation is the art of, or the act of transferring an image onto metal, right?
Correct.
Okay. And
actually, I wish I had a.
I was going to say, to display it, do you basically take magnets with an adhesive backing and stick it to your wall?
Some people do that. Some people will frame them because it's a 12. Like the large ones here are like 12 by 18, so they they get them framed. And then, I mean, I get a lot of people that send me like family photos and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, can I get this?" Or like a custom character that they drew, and so they'll end up getting it framed. Or some people have asked me to like drill like little holes in the corners so that they could just stick like a nail through. I've had people that ask for the adhesive and a magnet as well. So whatever somebody needs, and then I make like this one's the easier way to show it, like a smaller.
Oh wow!
Smaller 5x7. So.
Dang. Wow, what a nice finish too.
Thanks.
Do you put like an acrylic coating on it? A spray?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Nope, it just sublimates when I heat press it. It's at 400 degrees, and the ink turns from a liquid to a gas form and molecularly bonds with the metal. So actually, the only way to take this off is to like really scratch at the surface of the metal itself.
So if you did it like a scratch or a scrape by accident, like let's say you brushed your keys against it by accident, or you accidentally dropped it.
They would actually hold. I've had to actually like really kind of dig into it to try to get that off. And so you have to basically put enough force to scrape the top layer of metal off, because that's where the the ink sits.
Huh.
It's similar to you had somebody on earlier that was talking about the t-shirts, making the sublimated t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the same process.
Oh, okay. All right.
They just different temperatures, different pressures, and obviously metal versus cloth. It's a different medium.
Wow. Nice. That's pretty sweet.
Thanks.
And so the creation of these crowdfunded manga books is the start of eventually developing these IPs into animated cartoons or movies, or what?
Animated shows, animes, cartoons, stuff like that.
Like ongoing
really,
series.
What was that?
Like an ongoing series.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I originally came up with the concept of these, I visualized it as a show. So it's a little different than what your typical comic book artists will do. Is they think about the panels and the scenes and stuff, and and they work their way that way. I've kind of always thought of it as like a fluid motion and had to break it down to paneled scenes.
Gotcha. Oh, by the way, sorry for not mentioning earlier. Welcome, Matanui. Good to have you.
Hey, Matanui, welcome.
Wait, where did I thought I had it already queued up? Just a sec.
Yeah, no worries.
So, Galden, how long did it take to come up with this story or premise?
So this one, I started working on this one about 4 years ago. So after Reclaiming Zendara was the first idea I came up with. Galden is the second, but Galden is the one I'm kind of working on primarily right now, and that's because of the perk, the Become a Character perk that I have in it. That one's actually going to be kind of unique because I'm basically, I guess we'll run down the storyline first, and I'll kind of explain why why the Become a Character perk is so popular and why it's a different kind of beast than your typical Become a Character in a crowdfunded comic.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, with this story, demons have ruled the earth for nearly 1,000 years. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. They're living in caves on limited resources, just trying to survive. Our main character is a guy named Galden, who basically grows up there without parents, and he basically learned from people while he was growing up that his parents were killed by demons that attacked their I guess their environment. I guess, what is it? Well, they're in a cave system, so basically it's just going to say they demons invaded and killed his parents, and so he grows up with kind of this really bad grudge against demons. But what ends up happening is, the very beginning of the book, we kind of go into what life is like there, what a post-apocalyptic demon-filled environment looks like. And then we kind of jump into what the actual story is. So Galden and his best friend Ryoku wake up, and they're with 23 other people that they've never met in this massive holding cell. They don't know how they got there. They don't know why. And what ends up happening is the world that we're painting is kind of similar to this world, but a little bit different. So in the world that I'm creating, humans and demons used to coexist on Earth. And the king of the city of Atlantis instructed his scientists to create a device to transport all the demons to another dimension so that he could be the sole ruler of the Earth. So he did that. And in my story, there are 13 celestial beings which basically created and oversee the entire universe. Well, they approached the king and said, hey, we didn't design the planet this way. Who are you to change it? Bring them back. And the king's basically like, oh, I've got my technology. I don't need them and I don't need you. So these celestial beings decided, okay, well, we'll see how well your technology helps you out. We're going to create a tournament, the 25 of the best humans versus 25 of the best demons. And it's a fight to the death. Whoever wins rules the Earth for 1,000 years.
Mm.
So we'll learn that during the Atlantis fight, the Atlanteans actually lost, and that's why Atlantis was destroyed. Demons ruled the Earth for 1,000 years. During the next tournament, humans won. And we'll start going through periods of history where different civilizations like the Romans, the Greeks, Spartans, the ancient Chinese and Japanese had developed different things to kind of emulate what this tournament was. And basically they use that as a form of practicing and stuff like that. And then we'll learn that during the dark ages of our history, when most of the knowledge of the world was destroyed or lost, humanity lost the knowledge that this tournament actually existed. So when it comes time for the 2020 tournament to happen, humanity loses.
No.
Right. So basically, he's being told that he has to fight in this tournament to determine who rules the Earth for the next 1,000 years. And so the cool thing about this book and the Become a Character perk is because the 23 other people that he's going to be fighting with, I'm allowing people to actually be those characters.
Mm.
So with this book lasting, 6-7 books long, even past this tournament, these, people that purchase that perk can become a long-term character and potentially go on to be in either all the books or most of the books, or so on and so forth, depending on if the character gets killed off somewhere in the storyline.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one hell of a cameo.
Yep. And the cool thing is like you said, with the eventual plan to make this into an animation studio, that character also becomes part of the cartoon. So you could essentially be able to see yourself on TV.
Wow.
And like a couple of people that have, like a lot of the people that have bought this perk so far have been like personal friends. Like two of them, they're bartenders. So I live in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC.
Okay.
And there's two very prominent counties. Well, one of my friends is the #1 bartender in one county, while my other friend is the #1 bartender in the other county.
Oh
So
my
they have a friendship, but they also have this kind of rivalry. So I'm going to also create that for their characters in the book as well. And one of the things that we'll see too is like they both have families, and some of the other people that have backed this book have, families. So one of the things that I'm going to do is when we go through this natural character introduction of these people, some will be like, oh, I have a wife and kids back home, and they'll actually like kind of like reach into their pocket to pull out like a picture. And so one of the panels will actually be a picture of them with their families. So it kind of includes them into the book as well for an actual cameo.
Mm.
So I want to make it more personal for people and for people that read it to know like these are real people that are put into this book. And so it's not, not just a made up character. There's a little bit of, I guess, heart to it.
Huh. What a trip.
Right.
Yeah, I have not seen that kind of depth in other be drawn in tiers.
Right. I mean, I really wanted something where I said, if I'm going to get into this industry, if I really want to be a part of this, I'm the type of person that likes to give back as much as I can. And for people to support me, since I'm not an existing comic creator of any kind and stuff, so for people to support me in this way, I want to be able to give back to them the maximum way that I can.
Wow. Coolness.
Thanks.
So, yeah. Let me see something here.
Yeah, sure.
Perks. One of the unique perks offered in my campaign. Opportunity to be in the story. 21 slots available for people. So your two close friends. Did you say that they're going to be represented as bartenders as well in the story?
No, they'll be actual. Their backstories will be that one of them will be a military person in this other microcosm of humanity that exists in the world. So that's going to be one thing our main character is going to learn, is that their cave system, they thought they were the last humans left for the long time. And so when they meet these 23 other people, they learn that there are microcosms of humanity spread out around the earth that have been trying to fight back. And so, the characters will actually be, they won't have that same profession. They'll have like a different profession within the world. Like some will be military, some will be like mechanics. I've got one person who she sent me a character design that she wanted instead of herself. She wanted a character from a book that she's actually creating as well.
Oh.
So hers is going to be kind of this lone wolf survivor type person who's also, a mechanical engineer. And basically her background will be creating weapons. So, kind of inventing different things for people.
Nice. So this is your second campaign.
Yep. This is the first one I launched. I launched this one first. And I launched it really early when I only had 5 pages done, because I wanted to be able to make people, kind of like long-term secondary characters. And once we get through the initial 12 pages is when we start introducing the other characters. So I wanted to be able to have that for people. And so right now we're at those 12 pages are complete, and we're actually moving on to the introduction of the characters, but we have enough backers right now under that character perk that we're introducing them first, and then if anybody else joins in, they'll get introduced as we continue to go.
So in this story, you're the author.
Yes, sir.
You're the creator as well.
Mm-hmm.
How detailed do you get when you present the story or the script to your artist?
Well, that was one of the hiccups that I had initially, was that I wasn't giving enough detail in the very, very beginning. And so that was one of the pitfalls that I had probably like the first weekend. And then I realized, okay, I need to be extremely detailed on what exactly I want. And so now we have this open communication where I can tell them, hey, I need this tweaked. I need this to look exactly like this. And now it's a point where I'm actually doing like the rough sketches to then, and then I show it to him like, okay, I need it to look like this. And he's, starting to match it. So now it's actually going to be moving really smooth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I haven't had that same kind of, like I said, that first week, the first like 2 pages that we did, I was like, but after that, it flowed a lot better.
So you've got 2 campaigns going on at the same time?
Yep. I know.
What is the reason behind that?
So initially I was working on Reclaiming Zendara, and that was actually the first book that I started working on months and months ago. And I just knew it was taking a long time, and I had this other story. I've actually got 5 full storylines of different storylines in my head. And I'm like, okay, I need to start getting this stuff out and start getting this stuff created. And I started with Reclaiming Zendara and was going on with that, and that one's developing. And then I was like, I want to be able to create Galden as well. But since I'm not doing the art on that one, it's a little bit easier to do. There's no way I could have done both books at the same time, being the artist and all that stuff. And so, like I said, with FedEx, luckily with FedEx, they approached me in March when COVID happened, and they said, hey, because of the uptick in how much people are ordering, we need people that can work 7 days a week. Do you want to do that? And so I've been working 7 days a week since March. And so the extra money's kind of been going towards paying the artist, saving up some for the potential studio, and working on the metal art stuff and doing all that.
Wow. Do you have any concerns at all about possibly splitting the audience and, having two concurrent campaigns?
Initially, I didn't worry about that, but as you can see with the crowdfunders, Galden's up at just over 1,600, and this one's at only $275. And so I didn't initially worry about that. And now I worry that I may have split the audience a little bit, but also at the same time, there's two different styles. I think like two very different styles with this, and I think I'm definitely catching one audience with Galden, because I actually get a lot of people to say I really, really like that. That's really, really my style. And I get a lot of people that actually say they like Reclaiming Zendara as well, and they like that style. But I definitely think I'm speaking to two different audiences for sure.
Prior to launching these, did you make use of Indiegogo's pre-launch option?
No, honestly, I'd never actually gotten into doing an Indiegogo before, and it wasn't until I started seeing some people that were launching campaigns and stuff like that, and I kind of just I looked at what they were doing and was like, okay, that's an option, and that would actually be a really good option. But I've had no experience whatsoever with Indiegogo prior.
Did you initially take a stab at Kickstarter before you came to Indiegogo?
No, I've never been on Kickstarter before.
Was there something that drew you to Indiegogo over using Kickstarter?
I did see a lot of people that were using it. Basically, when I started learning about ComicsGate and what ComicsGate is about, it was through a channel that had Ethan on, had Doug Tenaple on, and Frega, and a bunch of other people, and they were talking about Indiegogos for a while. So I was like, oh, okay, must be the place that everybody goes for crowdfunders for comics and stuff like that. So I just thought, that might be a good spot to be.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Indiegogo is there's a pre-launch tool. So for 6 months, for up to 6 months, you can have a page up there. It's almost going to be the same web address as what your live URL is. Except there's a section that says coming soon, I believe. And then it's a way for you to collect email addresses. So
kind of like what Edwin's doing with Drawing Aces. I did see his thing.
Yeah,
he was,
that should
collecting.
be the same thing. Yeah, it seems like everyone in ComicsGate is doing that now on their campaigns, because you can start building a database of email addresses of people interested in the book. So you promote that pre-launch page, and you can have a promo video or a static image, or I think you can have maybe a couple pieces of media, and then down below you can have some of your feels like I got something in my eye. You can have down below you can have some text if you want, describing what the story is, some detail about the book, how many pages, what kind of paper you're using, what type of format, whether it be a floppy or perfect bound. And then you've got space for, like, I guess up to 4 images, but the tricky part about it is, from what I'm told, is you have to fit it within specific resolution.
Yeah,
Number
I
of
did
pixels.
see. I did have that issue when I was putting in the like the cover photo for Reclaiming Zendara. I actually had to shrink it a little bit and cut off like the very top of the cover in order to fit it in the main pic. So I did notice that.
Yeah, so it has something to do with the image resolution or something like that. Or
Yeah, I did see that.
And but it's a way of, you know, getting a feel for how much interest you've generated in your project. And then if you choose to run it for the full 60 days, then after that 60 days, you can go live. So on let's go back to the other project.
All right.
The main one you're putting more focus on, since it's getting more traction. Are you thinking it's that specific tier about being drawn in the book?
I do think that's a big perk into why, because that's actually most of the backers that have been on there have been backers that are doing the Become a Character perk.
Nice. So you've got a flexible goal, 5,000. So as I understand, with the flexible goal, if you make it, great. If you don't, then I guess you more or less discuss with the backers how you want to proceed.
So I thought that so what my belief was in the flexible goal thing was that, well, if we don't make the goal, that we would still work on the book or whatever and fulfill the orders that we get, but it would just kind of be like, okay, we didn't actually make the goal, but we can still put on, you know, because my whole idea and the whole reason why I put the flexible goal thing was that I'm going to make the books regardless. You know what I mean? Because it's something that I'm actually really, really passionate about. And it's just, both of them are stories that I really, really think people will enjoy once they actually see them. And so that's kind of why I, you know, when they gave me that option at FedEx to work 7 days, I was like, yeah, because I want to put whatever into this books. And so I thought that what my understanding was is that even if we didn't make the goal, you know, whatever comes in is going to be used as money to fulfill the orders and get the book as paid for as possible, kind of thing, you know, and the rest has to come out of pocket.
I think that's the ideal scenario.
Right.
If the creator has the wherewithal to pursue it and, you know, do whatever it takes to get the product out there.
Yep.
But I think there are some creators who, you know, if they don't make a certain amount, then they'll be more prone to just offering refunds.
Right.
But I think for those that are flexible goals that aren't fulfilled, my assumption is the backers are going to prefer the route you're taking, where you're going to release a book even if it doesn't get fully funded.
Right. And that was exactly what I wanted to do, because you know, when I saw the other way that it's either you make it or you don't, I was like, well, I'm gonna make this book no matter what, and I'm gonna put people in it no matter what. And so there's no reason, like, even if we didn't make the goal, there'd be no reason for me to not continue with it. You know what I mean? Especially with the whole Become a Character part, because as of right now, we're gonna start drawing in people that have already backed under that tier. So, you know, people are in the book. So, you know what I mean? So there's no kind of coming back from that at this point.
Right.
And so,
Right.
yeah, like I said, when I learned about the whole, animation studio and how much an animation costs. And when I said, I took 2 weeks to really think, can I do this? Do I want to do this? I came up with the idea for the mangas, and then I thought, okay, can I, do I want to do this? And I stayed steadfast. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go all in with it, and we're going to do it regardless what it takes.
And the 5,000. Can you speak to how you came up with that number? Are you thinking mostly the bulk of your costs are going to come through the fulfillment, the printing, and the shipping to international?
Well, the way that I came up with the 5,000 is because one is because I'm paying an artist as opposed to doing it myself. If you see Reclaiming Zendara is less because it's not an artist, but so I'm paying an artist and stuff like that. So I feel like some of it's going to go into that, but yes, fulfillment is also going to be a big role in printing.
Gotcha. So the campaign, it reads that you're 33% funded so far. Mm-hmm. There's 16 days left.
Yep, coming down.
Now, is this what route did you take? Did you do 30 days of funding?
I went through 60 days actually, and
a full 60 days?
Yeah, I went through the full 60 days, and I'm down to 16.
Okay.
And a part of that was just me, advertising on my own on Twitter and Facebook and different places, and then it wasn't until actually like a week and a half ago that I started looking into talking to people on YouTube about it. And so that was kind of my fault, being absent-minded in the advertising part on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you happen to have like a YouTube channel?
I did create a YouTube channel actually when I first opened up the studio, when I was filling out like the legal stuff, the bank stuff, because I wanted to create a journey where people could see the creation part and to see that there's something going on. But I haven't used the YouTube channel in a little while, and I'm going to start getting back into it. The only problem is I'm actually talking to you on my cell phone right now.
Oh,
because yeah. Well, I'm in the process of moving. Basically, next week I'm going to be moving, and it's only like 15 miles away, but we've got stuff kind of packed up and stuff, so I'm kind of got to use the cell phone for right now. And then once we get to the new place, reset up the computer, and then I can start getting back into YouTube more.
Wow, it's working out pretty well.
Yeah.
Consider.
Yeah. It was things are working out really well.
I would definitely recommend getting on more. Yeah.
I've been actually really getting on to been with a couple different channels. My first one was New Comic Normie, and I was on his show twice, and then went on Bounding into Comics a couple days ago. Did an interview with Alexander Trapp yesterday, and he's going to put it on his Indie Monday stream.
Is that it's a Trap Productions?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, he read through the books a little bit on his Indie Monday stream this past Monday, and then we talked a little bit, and we did a full interview for about an hour yesterday, and then so I'm starting to get into more stuff and talking to more people about it, because obviously it's essential for this kind of a project to get out to as many people as possible. So that's why I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and talk to your audience and you.
No, most definitely. Mananui. What do you mean, what's going on? You know what's going on. We're talking about Galden, this book about saving humanity from the extinction in a 100+ page book. I mean, like
Yeah, it's an undertaking for sure. And it's like originally when I came up with this book, it was going to be about 105 pages. But as people are becoming characters and I'm creating, backstories and things like that, it's kind of keeps pushing on longer. And now it's at like 124. So,
this is going to be interesting.
huh?
This is going to be interesting.
Yep. But like I said, gonna go with it all the way. So we'll work it out.
I take it you're going with the perfect bound.
Yes, definitely perfect bound.
Yeah, that's way more pages than
Yeah, exactly.
Are you looking at soft cover, hardcover?
I want to go hardcover, I think, just with the amount of pages. And like I said, we're at 124 now, so if more people, go under the become a character perk, then obviously I'll start creating backstories for them. So this could actually reach up into, 150 pretty easily. So I think the best thing to do is to have a hardcover for it if it gets to that page rate.
Right. But are you looking to do a hardcover after you hit a certain stretch goal, or regardless?
I think regardless. I mean, I know it's a major expense, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I kind of hard-headedly determined that this is what I'm going to do no matter what, and I want to provide the best book possible to people, and I really want people to get their money's worth and to, because this is book one of like I said, about a 7-book series, so I want people to be into it and refer people when book 2 starts and stuff like that to say, oh, this is an amazing book, look at it. You could tell there was a lot of heart and detail put into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's an investment in myself and the projects, really. So even if there's an initial cost up front, it's that investment and the hope for a payout later.
I was distracted for almost an hour. Yeah, we're.
You want to become a character in Galden. That's all you have to
know. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Yeah, we're talking about the nitty-gritty details of Galden. I do highly recommend you hit up, reach out to ComicsGate channels since you're CG. I highly recommend Red Valkyrie.
Yep, I did. I think I messaged them a couple days ago, but I'll double check. But yeah, I've been messaging a lot of people.
Yeah, I think usually when you use the Red Valkyrie handle, you're reaching Sai, and when you're using Gaslight, you're reaching Shay.
Okay.
But I think they'd really dig the stuff you're doing, and I think they'd really love your bottle openers and the metal prints.
Cool.
Because they could probably incorporate that into their merch.
Yeah, I mean, and that was one of the things that I was like, why haven't I talked about that before? And so I put out that tweet like, hey, if you guys need, stuff for like stretch goals, like that would be a pretty cool thing to offer.
Hell yeah! I mean, if I had a project ready, I would seek out your help for those.
Well, hey, I'm here if you ever need it.
Right on. I would also recommend White Cat Comics.
I did talk to Carla a little bit, and so I think she was saying that when her husband is ready to do or is doing more streams, she would let me know. So
all right, yeah, because they're quite busy on an active campaign.
Yep. Yeah, Witch Hunter looks great. I actually I really like that campaign too.
Yeah. Yeah, they literally just recently finished fulfilling Grim Reaper 2.
Yep.
And they're like head on into Witch Hunter.
Yep.
They're already planning out the next book after that. So it's like,
that's awesome. They're kind of in the same mindset that I am. Like I've got my whole storyline already planned out. I know where I'm bracketing, like where my storylines are going to end with each book. Like as far as like, okay, at this point is where I've got to get to with this book. I've got to get to this point with this book, and so on and so on. So I've actually like framed everything out, and so I guess they're just a few steps ahead of me on as far as creating books and getting them fulfilled.
Now, is Galden being roughly 125 to 150 pages? Is it like a self-contained story, or is it literally just volume 1 in the whole series?
It's literally volume 1. Volume 1 is gonna take us about halfway through the tournament, and volume 2 is actually gonna finish the tournament. And then,
right. So it's a total of 2 books.
It's going to be up to 7. There's more after the tournament. There's more character development that goes on throughout the book and throughout the whole storyline. And it actually culminates into a crazy war for humanity. It's going to actually be a really, really cool story. The tournament is literally just the tip of the iceberg. So that's the nice thing, like I said, with the whole letting people be the characters, is they can, they'll be able to go through most of the storyline, if not all the way through.
So for those people who have taken advantage of that backing tier to be drawn into the book, do you have specific characters in mind that you plug them into, or character types that are in the story already?
So I have the breakdown of, as far as like I've written it out to what I want these people to, say, with the whole script of everything. It's literally just going to be plugging a face to the, a face and a body type. Like a bunch of my friends that have tattoos, I was like, hey, send me pictures of your tattoos, like on your arms and whatnot, so I can make sure that your tattoos are also included in the character. So like literally that is you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going way extra into as much detail as possible.
That's hella trippy. The challenge I foresee is some people have very elaborate, detailed tattoos.
Oh yeah.
Would you make like simplified versions of the tattoos?
It depends. Like my friend Jacob, for instance, the one of the bartenders, he's got a full sleeve that's it's a what you call it? It's a tribal Samoan sleeve, because he's actually from Hawaii originally.
Oh.
And so I mean, and he's crazy looking. He looks just like Jason Momoa, and so he's got this crazy sleeve that goes down. And so I've got pictures of the whole sleeve, like all the way around. So I make sure that we get this as close to what the tattoo exactly looks like, if not exactly what it looks like.
My gosh, that's going to be heck of detailed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the whole point of this is, and the reason why I hired this particular artist for the black and white is because he's actually really, really good with the details, especially when, like if you saw the demon at the last page, like in the castle and stuff, like he's ultra detailed. And so, yeah, this book is going to be quite interesting.
Is there a reason why you opted to just have a single static image versus either multiple images or a promo video?
Just the lack of knowledge in doing a promo video. That's all. I just have no video editing skills whatsoever, and just I put the static image up just to show the cover, and I thought I'd include the pages down at the bottom so that people could see. Okay. Like I said, I launched this really early, and it was literally just the first 5 pages so people could see the art style, because I wanted to have that character perk.
Right.
And because I didn't want it to be just like a character that comes in and gets killed in like a crazy way in like one panel or 2 panels or whatever. So that's kind of why I ran into that situation.
No,
yeah, I'm completely new into all of this. So I came in, not really knowing what I was getting, like knowing what I was getting into, but not really knowing the ins and outs of how a lot of the different things, like with Indiegogo and stuff, work. So learning as I go.
Yeah, you're gonna find that you're gonna learn a hell of a lot
Yep.
over the course.
And I'm running into things like the Juggernaut, just like the big head running through walls and stuff. Just like, whatever, this sucks, but I'm gonna keep going.
Exactly.
Oh man, I could have done this so much better. Oh well, I'm just gotta keep going.
Yeah. Certain things, once you've launched, you can add to it. Like,
Yeah.
you can add or replace your static image above,
Yeah.
or you can add a promo video. It seems like you can add like 9 or 10 different photos or videos.
Yeah. So so with this one, like I said, I launched with the first 5, and then I put in the 2 more bottom pages afterwards, like a couple days later. With Reclaiming Zendara, I've got all 12 pages of like the chapter 1 intro in there. So I don't know if there's a limit to how many pages you could put up, but obviously you don't want to put up like too much.
Well, yeah. Number one, you don't want to accidentally post any spoilers.
Right.
But you also don't want the campaign page to be so long
Right.
that it takes forever to peruse the
campaign. One of the things that I'm planning on doing is, now that we have characters that are getting drawn in, once we have those pages like actually done, doing like a character intro add-on to the campaign, which will be in a couple days.
Character intro add-on.
Like so we'll add on pictures of like, so for instance, like I said, my friend Jacob will take his picture, the picture of his character in the book, and we'll post them up and say, oh, this is this person. And so we'll have Galden, our main character. We'll have my friend Jacob. Any of the other people that have signed up, there'll be their pictures and their name. And so I actually even gave them the option to have the character be their name or make up a name.
All right.
So some people chose to just have their name. Some people were like, "What? Call me whatever you want," and other people were like, "Oh, well, let's think about it." Like one of the guys, his last name backwards ended up actually being a really cool name, so we did it that way.
Okay.
So, I'm the nice part about this is I'm very open to what people want to do. Like, I've got the idea and the story and everything, but as far as like incorporating people into this book, very open-minded.
This is good stuff.
Thank you.
So is your artist doing all the pencils, inks, and lettering?
Yep. And honestly, it's been great to do it that way. I send him the script, and he goes to work, and it's been great to have that person that I can say, okay, this is what I need done, and he just gets it done. And it's a great, like, as far as like no headaches, communication's open. He's just excited about this project as I am. And we've kind of talked about where this project's going as far as with all the different books and stuff, and so he's just as pumped as I am to do this. So that's awesome.
The book. What are the dimensions?
Oh, going to do traditional paper, 7.5 by 11.
Is that standard comic book size?
Or
are you talking about?
No, I'm talking. No, as far as the traditional comic book size, I'm sorry, it's not 7.5 by 11. Crap. Now I can't remember what the. Hold on, I got that all written down here. Hold on 1 second. Because the Reclaiming Zendara is going to be in a manga format, so it's going to be a smaller book. Yeah. Let's Okay, so Galden's going to be the 6.8 by 10.4 inches, like the traditional page size.
6.8 by 10.4. Okay. And you're shooting for this to be hardcover.
Yep.
Have you already explored how you're going to do your shipping? Are you fulfilling on your own, or are you hiring a fulfillment company?
No, I'm going to fulfill on my own. I mean, luckily, well, one of the things as far as like shipping and stuff, because I'm a FedEx employee, I get like a crazy discount on shipping.
Oh,
So it helps out a little bit.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because that's a big cost that goes into it, is the shipping aspect. So to be able to have that helps out a lot. And then I've gotten in touch with some of the local printing companies and got prices as far as to get things printed and stuff. But then I also was told, I should talk to Peter over at Alterna.
Oh, you mean in terms of possible distribution?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I got a good thing going with the discount on FedEx. But then some people said, oh, you should just reach out and talk to him. He might be able to help you out with stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he undoubtedly be a good resource.
Yeah.
But in terms of printing, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, he prints all his books on newsprint, but higher quality newsprint than what we're used to in the old comics.
Ah, okay.
But I don't know if it would be suited to your style of artwork.
Okay.
It might be. I don't know.
Right.
You'd have to find out if you reach out to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he also might have some input and feedback on fulfillment and printing and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
A wealth of information for sure.
Yeah, which is great. Honestly, it's been really nice with the CG guys is because it's like everybody wants to see everybody grow. As a community, so people are really able to say, "Oh, this is your first time doing this. This is what you should know. This will help you out in the future. This is what will help you out now." And it's been really awesome. A really great community to be a part in.
Oh yeah, seriously, I totally agree. So standard comic book size, looking to be hardcover, 125, 150 pages. That's pretty wicked. Let's check out the tiers, the perks. One thing I do recommend, which I don't see here, is there's something called a featured perk, and it's a feature in Indiegogo where, I mean, even if you wanted to today, you could probably set one up. Typically, a featured perk will be the very first thing. Well, always a featured perk will always be highlighted or displayed first in your list of perks. The featured perk is what I refer to as the best bang for your buck. It's a good way to experience the product that you're presenting to the world, if you will. And it's not going to be the cheapest tier. It's not going to be the most expensive. Somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And it often will include either a variant cover or possibly even two, or maybe it'll include a variant cover and a print, or it might include a trading card or two, or it might include some stickers, or it might include a sticker and a trading card and a patch. Basically tchotchkes on top of your base book. Or I suppose you can even do original book, a variant cover, and a digital copy. If you, we still got to go through the other tiers, but you do have a digital.
As of right now, my perks are the digital, the physical copy and then the become a character. And then I did an add-on perk, which is like I said, I did these metal prints here, metal bookmarks.
Ooh,
And
nice.
so I did that as an add-on for $5.
Bookmarks are cool too, and
Yeah.
that's very good that you're making use of add-ons.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves, because I like to back lots of campaigns, sometimes to my detriment because it's money. But one of my pet peeves is when I don't quite find what I consider the perfect combination of what I want. So I have to pick a tier, go through the transaction process, get charged however much shipping, and complete it. Then I have to go back to the beginning, select the other perk or pieces I wanted from the campaign, get charged extra shipping, and then complete payment. And then if I'm still not able to acquire everything I want from the campaign, then I have to go through the third time.
Oh man!
So basically, I'm potentially getting charged extra shipping once or 3 times over.
Oh no!
In order to get everything I wanted, and if I don't know how convoluted or pain in the rear it is from the creator's perspective on the back end, the business side, it is. But if there's any way a creator can like take all the stuff I bundled and just throw it in a single container and then ship that single container, then more power to them.
Yeah.
If there's a way they can shave costs on shipping, great. Because I'd ideally not I definitely prefer not to pay more than I have to shipping wise.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah, it's basically like throwing your money away to get, just to make sure you get the stuff you paid for.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah. So then we've got all right. So we got the digital copy, and as I mentioned, if you added a feature perk, it would be up top. It'll be the first thing listed, basically. Digital copy, $10 USD. Galden book 1. That's the printed book, right?
Yep, that's a printed physical book.
And then you've got become a character package. Okay. Yeah. As you do more and more campaigns, you might. I definitely agree with keeping things rather simple on your first campaign.
Yeah.
But as you get more and more comfortable, and and you fulfilled at least one campaign to where you build your reputation and people can have trust that you're going to deliver, then I would consider adding more tiers. Number one, because there are lots of people in ComicsGate who enjoy tchotchkes. They like things.
I've been noticing that as I've learned more about certain other campaigns and stuff and what they've been doing. I'm like, oh wow, people really like the different add-ons. Trading cards especially seems to be the one thing that people are really into.
Yeah, like variant covers are great, but even on early campaigns, I wouldn't recommend having more than 3 covers max. Some people go buck wild, and I don't think that's smart at all.
Right.
A lot of campaigns offer bookmarks, trading cards, stickers, patches, prints, postcards. So there's a lot of stuff to choose from. And like, if you happen to be interested in like going exploring offering things like stickers. Companies like
Definitely.
Sticker Mule are real popular,
Okay.
and they do pretty cool looking die cut stickers.
Nice.
And you can reach out to the creators of campaigns you like, or basically who offer some of these goodies, and tap their brains on who they recommend for this or that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely talk to them. That's definitely something I really want to do going in now. After, like I said, after I set up the crowdfunder and stuff, I was really focused on getting the books made, and I knew I didn't really have much of a following or anything like that. But yeah, as the book series grows, and I want to be able to grow as well. So offering that kind of stuff would be
indeed, yeah,
good. And I mean, that's, like I said, that's why I put out that whole tweet about the bottle opener things, because I started thinking about my stuff, like, why am I not offering, like I said, the metal bookmarks are an add-on. I should totally do the bottle openers as an add-on as well. And stuff that people would be really into as an add-ons would be great.
That the bottle opener is definitely something I would recommend. I think it would make your campaign stand out, because I have not come across any that offer something like that. There are campaigns now that are starting to do things like action figures, glasses, that you drink from.
Yep.
With the characters on them. Lunch boxes. So, sky's the limit. If it's within your budget.
Right.
So, for possibly future campaigns, I would recommend more tiers. I mean, you don't want to go totally crazy and overboard with tiers, but at the same time, a couple more with, unique offerings. Like you said, metal bookmark, the bottle opener. I think the metal prints are an awesome idea too.
Yeah, I can definitely do that, obviously.
And is your artist digital or traditional?
He's digital.
Okay. You've probably seen on numerous campaigns also that original page art is real popular, and cover art.
That.
So that's something you might look into down the road. This might sound goofy, but in the future, you'll also want to consider having higher priced works.
Okay.
Over $150.
Okay.
I'm talking in some cases $200, $350, especially if you start including traditional art.
Okay.
Or sketch tiers. Oh, another popular thing in CG is sketch cards. So that's something to think about. Even if your artist is solely digital, if you team up with other CG creators, they might be willing to do a commission job to do sketch cards of your characters.
Oh, cool.
Or sell you artwork that you can of your characters that you can use as prints or postcards or whatever.
Yeah. So that seems awesome.
Those are other ideas, but there are people out there who want to support worthy campaigns, projects that they believe in, but they don't necessarily even need all this extra swag.
Right.
And they just want a way to support you. And that's why it's important to have a couple more pricier tiers as an option.
Okay.
Because some people can still afford it in their budget too.
Right.
But what you got here is pretty dang cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Some great work. I'm real excited about it.
Awesome. Thank you. That's exactly what I need to hear.
And I definitely want to see this get funded. I've got to find a way to, do more promotion to get more eyeballs. And I think part of it is just simply building my channel. You're talking about, getting your name out. I think a YouTube channel will help because it's what a lot of people are currently using. Down the road, I think people are going to, in time, drift away from YouTube because of YouTube's practices.
I've been seeing and hearing a lot about it.
And their treatment of small creators. But for the time being, it's still one of the major sources of content for ComicsGaters, especially.
Right.
And if you post videos of some of the progress on your campaigns, or even discussing some of your story or what your inspirations are, I think that will go a long way to helping potential backers learn about you, what you're about, and convey your passion for your projects.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the YouTube page that I have is actually Phoenix Animation as well. And as soon as we get done with this move, I'll definitely be setting up the computer and being able to do more videos and more streams and stuff on the actual computer. And start doing more of that.
Let's see here.
And I think it's Phoenix Animation VA. That's what it should be, I believe. Let me see.
Is Phoenix Animation one word or is it two?
I believe in the YouTube channel it's 2 words, but wait, hold on, let me see. Yeah, because none of that is me. Because I believe it's Phoenix Animation VA. But as one word, yeah. So if you do it as one word, it should pop up. That's my handle. Let's see.
Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Is it PHOENIX?
Yep.
And then the word animation, and then
yep.
V as in victory, A as in alpha?
Yep.
Okay. What am I doing wrong? Okay, I'm still not finding it. There's some other guy named Phoenix Animations, but
let's see.
Isn't there
account info?
Filter features, sort by. No, that's not going to help me. Do you have the name of one of your videos that I might search for?
Let's see. Yeah, let me pull up something here.
Cartoon Hooligans, Hello Bell.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've done a video.
You haven't by chance hidden it, have you?
I don't think so. Let me see. That's weird.
Phoenix Animation. Let's try this way. Valorant, iCandy Movies, meet the voice actors. There's another Phoenix Animation that has a Phoenix logo.
Oh, wait, that little P right there underneath, that should be, I think that's me. The little
Oh, right here.
I never actually put the studio icon in when I made it. Yep, there we go.
Let's sub to you.
Oh, thanks.
Oh.
I did a tiny update video when I first released Galden on Indiegogo.
Okay.
And all, but yeah, as the studio setup, like as far as the computer setup gets done at the new house, I'll start doing more videos and start including more things.
Cool. Yeah, definitely a good idea. You know what? Let's see. Is this considered the main page? Oh, all right. So this is home. Phoenix Animation. So I'm dropping that in the link for anyone who wants to check it out and sub.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Please sub to his channel. Let's show him some support here. Boom, 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 boom. Sweet. All right, so we got all right, come on. So that's Galden. Let's check out your other project real quick.
All right.
Boom, 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 boom. What's the inspiration for reclaiming Zandara?
I guess this is actually the first story that I came up with about 6 years ago. And that's just this. It's basically the one that really got me into doing this idea. So basically, as we go through the story, the very, very beginning, aliens come down, they capture everybody, take them aboard their ship. But humanity fights back. But for some reason, the aliens basically capture everybody. They make sure that nobody's killed, and they take everybody before the alien leader. And nobody understands really why. But they end up back on what they think is Earth. And so everybody's cheering until they see this monster flying through the sky and they realize, oh crap, this isn't Earth. And so this is one where, basically people are going to have to figure out, where are they? Why are they there? And is there a way to get back home? And some people will make it to Earth and some people won't.
Ooh.
And so this one is, like I said, this one's also going to be one that's going to be about 7 stories, 7 books long. Or so, because there's a lot to this one as well.
Wow. So you got a few images here.
Yeah, this is the second Indiegogo I set up, so I did a little bit more with like putting more pictures up at the top and stuff like that, more highlighted images.
Oh, something I mentioned to say on the other one.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily going to be applicable, but one thing about Indiegogo is, let's say you make a mistake on a perk.
Okay.
Either you want to add an extra thing to it, or you simply omitted something and you needed to edit something. If at least one person has
if that, I did notice that. I can't change it at all in any way.
Yeah, you have to hide that perk, keep track of the person or persons who backed it for fulfillment purposes.
Right.
And then you have to create a new tier, and you cannot use the exact same name as the previous one. You have to change it slightly.
Okay.
It's kind of like, how on computers you can't have 2 files of the exact same file name,
right,
same location.
Yeah, it's the same kind of setup.
Yeah, kind of that mentality, if you will. So just be cautious and cognizant. Keep that in mind when you're creating your perks, so you don't accidentally make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Now, if I understand correctly, if nobody has yet backed it and you catch it early enough, then you have some ability to do some editing?
Yep, I have found that out.
All right. Right on. So, what is your involvement on this book? Did
Everything.
All right. So
Everything
you even did the artwork and the lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And is all the lettering handwritten, or do you use like a font?
Hand by hand.
Really? Oh my God.
But I'm actually I'm super slow when it comes to writing the letters. And since I'm doing this all digitally as well, that back button, it definitely helps.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because I'm actually honestly I've been doing artwork for a few years, but not like I guess I've never gotten comfortable with doing it all by hand outside of digital because that back button saves my life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That undo button is my best friend.
Oh yeah. It's a hell of a time saver for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, but so when you said you do all the lettering yourself, are you doing the lettering digitally as well?
Yep.
All right. So you
Yeah.
click on the text box and then type in what you need and make sure it matches whatever font you're using.
Yep.
Okay. All right. At first, I thought you were doing traditional lettering where you draw the guidelines in pencil and then you you paint
Yeah.
handwriting.
No, I'm not that confident in myself. No, it's just honestly, I don't know. I learned how to draw digitally, and that's just how I learned how to do things. And so that's just kind of what's comfortable to me, and I've got my flow in my system.
Oh, that's neat. This graphic, how you have people captured in these little energy bubbles.
Yep, it's it's the same kind of energy bubble that we saw encasing the ship that kept it from being attacked when we were firing missiles at it and stuff.
Oh my gosh. This stuff looks like Cyborg Valkyrie from Red Valkyrie's channel. Nice. Wow.
Thanks. And so this is the part where they get transported down, where they get transported down to the planet, and they think they're back on Earth. And even this one guy cheers. He's like, "Oh, you could have dropped us off closer to home," and everybody's like celebrating and stuff until they see the silhouette of this monster here.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's like, "Oh, this isn't Earth," and then everybody scatters and runs away. And this is my full chapter 1 kind of intro into the story, and it kind of leaves it on a good cliffhanger. When I started designing, like I said, with my whole plan for this, because I originally came up with the concept and everything as a show, all the chapters are kind of episodic. And so that's kind of where I put things, when I created the chapters and the page layouts, it was kind of with that design.
Gotcha. Let's see here. So perks wise, yeah, again, I would recommend the featured tier, featured perk. So you got the digital, you got the book.
Yeah, it's gonna be the exact same stuff, and I still have the metal bookmark as an add-on as well.
So where does it reference the metal bookmark?
So I guess from my understanding is when you select the tier, like the perk, when you select to back it,
It shows in the bottom like other things you might be interested in.
Right. So when you get it, when you select the perk, let's see.
Well, what I meant to say is usually on the campaign, it'll show you what the bookmark looks like.
Oh.
Or it might be mentioned in the updates tab of your campaign.
Oh. I put a picture in on the add-on when I was creating the Indiegogo, when it said add-on, it gave me the option to put a picture for the bookmark, so it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it may be just.
But I should put one out on the main campaign.
Yes. To show people what they could be in for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that can help jazz them into moving forward and backing it.
Right.
Because they get to see all this cool stuff you're offering. Either on the story section or the updates.
Yeah, I think I could insert it into the story. I'm going to try to do that tonight. That'll be my thing to do.
Trying to figure out.
Because I have with this one, with Reclaiming Zendara, I have the metal bookmark of the main character and a metal bookmark of the leader of the alien crew, the big guy that you see there in the back.
Okay.
Because both of those guys are actually going to play major roles throughout the whole storyline.
Gotcha. Okay. Right on. Looking good.
Thank you.
That also looks cool. I like them both. Dang it.
Thank you. They're both designed very differently. And so some people are like, I like this one thing over this other thing. And some people just really like them both and really like them both because they're so different.
Yeah.
Styles and stuff. It's not like you're getting, like with like Studio Ghibli, for instance, you're getting kind of that same art. And I mean, a lot of people really love that same art, and that's why it's so popular. But, you know, to be able to offer a different art style, people are like, oh man, I like both. You know?
Yep. Indeed. All right. Let's wrap this up.
Yep, you got another 2 streams ahead of you, so you got a busy night.
Yep. So I'm giving you the floor. Would you share with the world how you can be found on social media?
All right. Hey, guys. So you can find me on Facebook, on Phoenix Animation on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, Phoenix Animation as well. And I believe you do Phoenix Animate I, and then the number 1. Find me there, or on Phoenix Animation on YouTube. I'll start getting back into making videos in the next couple weeks.
Cool deal indeed. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment.
There we go.
Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. Hopefully YouTube will notify you. And because if you leave it on standard notifications, it seems like
it's not giving you notifications anymore.
It's equivalent. Standard notifications is equivalent to no notifications.
Exactly.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's about that, because I was subscribed to your channel, and if you hadn't posted on Twitter like that you were going on with these other people, and if you hadn't put up stuff like before talking about the show schedule, I would have never known.
Yeah.
So I drive in my FedEx truck all day, and I check out YouTube. That's what I got going on in the background, and I got nothing from a lot of people, and it's Twitter is the only way to know who's on. For
sure.
So definitely personalize that bell when you get to it.
Yeah. Drop comments down below the video. Let us know what you're most excited about regarding Galden and Reclaiming Zendara. Thanks to everyone in the chat who joined us today.
Thank you, chat.
If anyone's still awake and up, feel free to join me on the next stream. which will be very shortly. Excuse me. And thanks to everyone who watches this on replay. And a very special thanks to our guest, Phoenix Animation.
Thank you so much for having me, WyzGyz, and thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for giving me the chance to share this with you.
All right. Hope to have you on again.
Definitely. I hope to be back.
Let's close it out.
Final guest is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube channel. WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.